everyone, how are you? Great to see you all. What a fantastic week we've had in school. There's been lots of laughter and all you boys have taken part in so many learning opportunities. Some boys have even started to work on qualifications, and I have an example here of Rayhan, who's been working through his entry-level certificate, Step Up to English. Fantastic work, Rayhan. And also a little bit more art, because the artwork last week was absolutely stunning. So we have some work on shells, and you can see there the little face in there. And then there's some drawings to go with it, some use of pastel, etc. So I'm hoping over the next few weeks we'll see those completed. Great work. Miss Randhawa was doing her tour around the site in the week, and she bumped into a few boys who were asking a few questions, and Bailey asked for something to come to me. And what he said is that when everything settles down and we are back with our whole school community together, can we have job for a day? And I asked Miss Randhawa, what does that mean? So basically, you boys can buy a day in a role at the school. And it would start with, so something like, not that it matters about the price, but it'll go to charity. It'd start like somebody working in IT. I'm just looking at Alan over there now. And somebody might pay £5 to work as Mr. Godfrey for a day. But Bailey said, because my job is so important, and you know me, I think that all jobs are really important, but because my job is so important, Bailey said he would pay £10 to be me and do my job for a day. So might be thinking about that, Bailey, when things settle down. Last week I introduced you to a couple of books that I was really engaged with, and this week I want to show you this one. I think you've seen it before, but just a little bit of a reminder, and it's called The Fun Facts, Ripley's Believe It or Not, Kids and Stories. And as I say, I found this book a few months ago. It's actually Miss Randhawa's. And this one says, a shark can't move if it is flipped upside down. Did you know that? If you can tell me why, there's 10 learning tokens on its way to you. The first one with the correct answer, 10 learning tokens, so good luck with that. Birthdays. This week we will have lots of celebration birthdays. So happy birthday to Harry Shimmin, to Riley Parkinson, to Jack Doyle, Tyler Jebson, Shauna, Mr. West, Mr. Waterworth, Molly Eccleston and Mr. Adamski, and their birthdays are this next week, so have a lovely day. So on to our awards. In Bronte, the award goes to Lewis Ailbury for a fantastic week of classwork and taking support when needed. In Lowry, the award goes to Stephen Mulcahy for having a positive return to school and changing over to becoming residential under challenging circumstances. So, absolute well done to Stephen. In Mozart, the award goes to Leland for another very positive week. Keep it up, Leland, the certificate says. And in Newton, the award goes to Lavelle for showing great resilience and stickability throughout the week. Well done, Lavelle. In Shearing, this week's award goes to AJ Elliott for participating well in all activities and trying hard making new friends. Well done there. In Hargreaves, the award goes to Alfie. Since returning back to school, Alfie has been fantastic in class. He has gained lots of confidence when answering questions in a group, and his motivation to earlier on in the year has been excellent. Well done, Alfie. In Priestley, the award goes to Rayhan. Rayhan has completed 4 entry maths papers and 1 entry level English paper, which is fantastic, really is a fantastic achievement. Well done. In Roundtree, the award goes to Joe for making a settled start back to school, completing work asked of him and developing peer relationships. Well done, Joe. In Adams, the award goes to Riley for adapting well with changes within his bubble and completing his PSE booklets. Well done. In Nightingale, the award goes to Ben Shaw, for showing maturity and empathy to others. Well done, Ben. And in Clancy, the award goes to Luke Newton, for a fantastic first week back. Well done, Luke. Last couple of certificates, and this one goes to James Manning in Whittaker for participating in all activities this week, including the daily mystery walk. I'd like to know a little bit more about that. And finally, the certificate in Best goes to Charlie Gilbert for engaging in some excellent artwork this week. Well done, Charlie. Okay, I'm hoping last week that you all got your prizes when you were drawn out of the bucket. So this week again, I'm going to draw 5 tickets. So the first one is Joe Notter. And everybody's in the bucket, don't forget. James Manning. Leland. Harvey O'Flynn. And last but not least, to Bailey Keese. Okay, so well done you boys. There'll be a prize on its way to you. So after this assembly, you will be able to log on and see the videos. Okay, so we will see performances from Magic Alan, from super scientist Mr. Stead, from Miss Chelsea, who's going to give some more lessons in Makaton, some memory games from Miss Harriet, and also Matt will be making an appearance this next week with some fantastic music. So before you go, I know you've been waiting for this, my jokes of the week. I am expecting Alan to do an appropriate laugh this week. So, what is brown, hairy and wears sunglasses? A coconut on holiday. See, told you it was funny. This one's even funnier, wait for this one. How are false teeth like stars? They come out at night. Okay guys, as I say, fantastic week. You're all engaging really well and I know a lot of you are trying so hard. And it's all about being the best you can be. So work hard, play hard, stay safe, and I'll speak to you next week. Take care.
Alright, morning boys, welcome back, start to a new week, we've got great weather, great school, great science teacher, what more could you want? Anyway, so what we're going to do today, it's a dead quick one. I'm going to show you how to burst a balloon without touching it, okay? So first of all, you will need just a standard party balloon, okay? The cheap ones are fine, in fact they probably work better. Alright, now normally to burst a balloon, you'd squeeze it, put something sharp into it, or maybe heat it up to make it pop, okay? What I'm going to show you today, as I've said, is how to burst the balloon without actually touching it. And the other thing that you will need is an orange or a satsuma or a tangerine, okay? Now, you might ask, how are you going to burst the balloon with an orange? Well, you'll notice that it's peeled, okay? So you're not going to use the actual fruit, okay? What you're going to use is the peel, all right? Now, in order to burst this, you might think, all right, he's got an orange. Orange has citric acid in it. It's the acid that he's going to use. He's going to squeeze the fruit over the balloon and the acid is going to burn through the rubber, perhaps, and burst the balloon. That's not it. Actually, we're going to use the peel, okay? Now, the peel has got something in it called limonene, and limonene is what gives the oranges their lovely aroma and smell, and it's that which will burst the balloon. So all you do is give this peel a bit of a squeeze, because there's an oil in it, like I said, called limonene, and then just squeeze it on the balloon, and the balloon will pop. There you go. And that's how you burst the balloon without touching it. Take care, see you next week.
Morning fellas, for today's assembly, more card magic. This is Sonia, the unsuspecting public, lovely that she is. So, Sonia, for this, I'm going to put 2 cards on the table. Yeah, and that's a prediction that I'm going to make. What I'm going to ask you to do, as I deal the cards onto the table, you tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay, put that on there, put that on there. Same again. One thing you will notice is that all these cards are different.
Yes.
Okay?
I did wonder. Stop.
And I'll pop that on there. So, given the fact that you had a free choice to stop anywhere you want, okay, we'll lay these out. And what we're actually looking for, as we lay them out, is your 2 face-up cards. Because when we find your 2 face-up cards, we'll pop one there. And I've lost the other one. As with all good magic, it sometimes goes astray. And there we are.
Yes.
So, and then we'll put these back into a pile and we'll leave them there. Oops, we'll move them there. And we'll give Sonia her chosen cards, if you'd like to turn them over.
So this should be an 8. Wow.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And we should have a 3.
Okay, which is even cooler. But that's not the most impressive bit of the trick, because if Sonia had picked any other card, and you might need to get a close in on this, Josh, she would have picked a King of Diamonds, because every other card in the pack is a King of Diamonds.
Wow. That's brilliant.
That's your moment of mystery, fellas. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you're all feeling okay today. So in today's assembly, we're going to learn about the weather. So for the first sign, you'll need both your hands. So take your dominant hand and your non-dominant hand, facing them palms inwards, and you're just going to make circular movements for fog. 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 Then we have hail. So for hail, again using both hands, you're going to place them like this. Hail. Hail. So that's like the hail's bouncing off the ground. Then we have ice. So for ice, using your dominant hand, ice. You're just going to pull your fingers backwards. Ice. Then we have rain. So for rain, you're going to take your dominant hand, and this one goes slightly under your non-dominant. Rain. So you're fluttering your fingers. Rain. And then we have sun. So with your dominant hand, using your index finger, you're drawing the sun. 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 And then if you open your hands doing the sign for light, that then becomes sunshine. 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 See you next week, and we'll be doing some more. Bye everyone.
Morning, I hope you're all okay. Last week we looked at how to play a C chord, part of our 3 magic chords on guitar. This week we're going to move on to the next chord, which is a D chord. Now, we'll need all 3 fingers again, our first finger, our second finger, and our third finger. Now, if you remember, last week I taught you the names of the guitar strings. We have E, A, D, G, B, and E. Or Eddie, A, Dynamite, Goodbye, Eddie. Now we're only going to need our top 4 strings to play a D chord. Our D string, our G string, our B string, and our E string. And we're only going to need these 2 frets, our second fret and our third fret. What we're going to do is we're going to put our first finger on the second fret on the G string, our third finger on the third fret on the B string, and our second finger on the second fret on the E string. And we're going to play down from our D string, just like this. And that's how you play a D chord. I'll see you all next week.
morning everyone. Nice to see you in school again this week. Today I've got the mystery box back and I'm going to try and describe something to you that's in the box. I want you to guess what it is. So, it's quite big. I would be able to hold it in my hands. It's a rectangle shape. It's quite heavy. You can flick through it. It feels quite like paper, but it's got a harder edge to it. It's also something that might have words in it and you might use before bedtime. Can you guess what it might be? I'll give you a few seconds. It is a book. Winnie the Pooh, one of the best books ever written. Well done for those who got it right. Have a good week, everyone.